quick scene of Star Wars, which I'm pretty sure most of you guys have seen. This is a pretty huge spoiler if you guys haven't seen, so if you guys haven't seen it, then you might want to
Keep your eyes closed.
keep your eyes closed or cover your ears or whatever.
Okay.
If you only knew the power of the dark side, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me it now. He told me you killed him. No, I am your father. It's not true. That's impossible. Search your feelings. You know it to be true. Luke.
Okay. Yeah, so there you go. So this film, this film actually was developed by film, of course. This was made very long ago. This is before the digital age, so like around the 70s to the 90s. You know, film was such a huge trend at the time, and a lot of directors and filmmakers would work with film. You know, because like that was like the only source, like that was their medium to produce the imagery of, you know, of an hour, 2-hour kind of production. And then until one of the founders of digital, George Lucas, decided to go for something new. He decided to try a new era of digital, which is a whole different kind of medium compared to film itself. So when he made Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace, I believe that's what it's called. Terrible film, by the way. I'm sorry, doesn't like it. That was actually one of the first things I was actually brought into by digital. And because of that, like the whole filmmaking game changed, you know, for the future years to come. And because of that, a lot of filmmakers decided to like try, you know, experimenting with digital, you know, for their future works and so forth. And because like the way it looks, a lot of people have been like really into it, and they become more inspired to actually produce and develop with digital rather than film. Now, film is actually still a trend nowadays, but like it is still like on a ongoing battle between film and digital. You know, there's like a clash happening. Like there are some directors out there that are still making movies with film rather than digital, but there are people that are slowly transitioning to the digital phase for various reasons. Now, as a filmmaker, I believe that digital is actually the future way that actually has more benefits than film for a variety of reasons, which I'm about to explain. One of them includes the fact that it is a whole lot easier to use. You know, with digital, I mean, you can experiment with a whole lot more. You can adjust your settings more. So, like, if you're out shooting like a short clip or whatever, you can work with camera settings such as the ISO, which adjusts the exposure, which is the lighting of the camera. You can also work with the saturation, the colors. They're more vibrant and more clear. And clarity is also like one of the most impacted factors of digital. Is the fact that you know, we see things more clearly. It isn't really as grainy compared to film, because with film, there's a whole ton of grain. I mean, you see like a lot of those country western films that has like the grain scratches, whatever. Like that was like shot on film. So for some people, it may bother. They might be bothered because of that. Because it's a little bit disturbing for a few. But there are some people that may enjoy it. But a lot of people have like been more into the more clarity kind of view, if you want to call it that. So a lot of people have been more transitioning to that. Also, the fact that the digital cameras, they're pretty much, they're pretty much stored into a hard drive, which is a whole lot easier to keep your files or footage inside this little SD card or this little containment, you know, store that you want to place into. But film is a little bit more hard to carry, even though the films are either, because like you have your film strips, you know, those really long strips that has like all like the frames which produces the film itself. You have all that together, and you have to actually contain it in some sort of can or some sort of like box, whatever. I mean, even though it's still there, it's kind of like hard to carry that and use it through your production phase, which actually takes a whole lot longer to use rather than digital. In which with digital, you can just use your SD card, stick it into your computer, and then just simply drag your files on your desktop and start editing, whatever. Like really simple, really easy to use. I mean, in like a few seconds, that's all it takes to work with that. Also, another fact that, or another reason why digital is a little better is the fact that I kind of mentioned earlier is the clarity. We now are able to like see movies in 4K resolution. The clarity of people like just like walking or fighting, see explosions. I mean, all that stuff is super clear now. As of back then, it made it a little bit disturbing because back then it was the era of the 480p resolution, which is the box thing, the box view. You're not really getting the widescreen kind of option when you're watching movies. You're given the box kind of assortment, in which with digital, you see things a whole lot more clear, more widescreen, so you're able to see like more focus and whatnot. According to IndieWire.com, a lot of people have been transitioning to digital because of those reasons, and they seem to be more relaxed, more comfortable with digital era, like working with digital cameras like the Red cameras, GoPros, DSLRs like Canon 7Ds or whatever. But a lot of people have been slowly transitioning to that because of the fact that it's a whole lot easier to use, whereas the film is a bit more complex. I actually recently watched this documentary. It's called, I believe, The Art of Film, and Christopher Nolan, who is a director who made movies such as Dark Knight, Inception, Interstellar. He actually is one of those directors who doesn't like working with digital. He actually prefers working with film. And the reason for that is that he believes that with film, it has, like, there's like a magic behind to it, just like the touch, like you're seeing a movie, like you're seeing like the film look. With digital, like he seems like you're just seeing like a bunch of pixels, just like running together. So I mean, there's that like the downside to it with digital is that like, you kind of lose that film touch, that film look. You guys can sort of understand. But I think there is a possibility that we can still work with digital cameras while having to obtain the film look. Because I mean, obviously technology has come a far long way, like since like 50s and so forth. Even back then, people like shot with film in black and white. So now we're shooting 4K resolution with like colors and whatever. I mean, everything's working out great. So I believe with like the technology that we're given, we're able to work with digital cameras that are able to allow us to have like the film features along with it, including the look. So I believe though that there is a possibility that we can work with both film and digital like together as one. But like I know a lot of people have been preferring to the digital phase because of the fact that it's a lot easier to use. But it's amazing though, like how far technology has come. And I'm really looking forward to see like 30 years from now, like what we're able to work with. I mean, back then we used to work with film, and like now we're working with digital. So who knows what we're going to work with next, and the kind of movies we're going to be able to explore and like be able to like interact with. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you guys are as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it right there. Thank you so much.